In this video, we're going to learn about conditionals. Conditionals is a very important concept in coding because it helps us do a lot of interactive tasks in our projects. A conditional is a statement or code that only runs when something else happens first. In Scratch, a conditional is used with one of these blocks that says if then. If this part of the code is true, then the program will run this part of the code. Let's look at some real-life examples of conditionals. Remember, we use the statement if something is true, then do something else. If it's true that it's raining outside, what will Mr. Thomas take outside with him? If you said umbrella, you are correct. If it's true that it's raining outside, then Mr. Thomas will take an umbrella. If it's true that Mr. Thomas goes to the beach, what will he wear? If you said swimsuit, you are correct. If it's true that Mr. Thomas is going to the beach, then Mr. Thomas will wear his swim trunks. If it's true that Mr. Thomas comes across a rattlesnake, then what will Mr. Thomas do? He will definitely run away screaming, "Ah!" Those are conditionals. The bottom part will only happen if the top part is true. Let's look at how conditionals work with code in some games. In this first game, as I play it, I move my mouse around the screen, and as my dog comes to a bone, he eats it, and the bone disappears, and I earn a point. Let's look at what that code looks like as a conditional in this project. Notice that I've clicked on the bone and I've got this conditional statement right here. The conditional statement is the if-then block. Remember, I'm on the bone. This is the sprite that I've selected. If the bone touches dog 2, then this is going to happen. My score is going to change by 1, and the bone is going to hide. It doesn't happen, this does not run until it's true that the bone is touching the dog. Let's look at a second example. In this game, I have a ship that I'm sailing across the ocean. I have two conditions here. If my boat touches the island, my ship is wrecked. If my boat touches the gold, then I get the treasure. Here we come to the gold. I did it, I found the treasure. Let's look at the conditional code for this project. In this algorithm for the ship, I have the two conditionals for touching color. Here's one. Remember, the if statement is a conditional. If it's true that the ship is touching green, then this part of the code is going to run. My ship is going to say, "Your ship is wrecked," and everything will stop. If this is not true, then the computer is going to go to this part. This next conditional statement says, if the ship is touching yellow, then say, "You found the treasure," and stop the game. Notice that I have both of these inside a forever block. Because I don't want the game to check just once to see if my ship is touching green, I want it to always check again and again. So I have put both of my conditional statements inside a forever loop. It checks to see if it's touching green. If it's not, it moves on to the next conditional and checks to see if it's touching yellow. If it's not, it does it all over again until one of these conditions is true. Let's look at one last project. This game is called Tunnel of Gold. In this game, you'll notice that I have some yellow coins at the end of the tunnel, and I use my arrow keys to move my cat around the screen. If my cat touches the walls of the tunnel, he bounces back. This is a good way to make sure that my player is always following the maze and not cheating and going through the dirt. So I have to be very careful not to touch the walls, or I won't be able to go through. And as I get to the end and touch the gold, I'll win the game. If I look at the code on this one, I can see a conditional right here in my if statement. My conditional helps me to make sure I stay inside the tunnel path and don't try to go through the dirt and kind of cheat. If the cat is touching the color brown, then it turns around and goes 10 steps. So if my cat tries to touch the brown, he kind of bounces off. He turns around and he goes back 10 steps. I put this conditional inside of a repeat block and said that I want to keep doing this, checking to see if he's touching the wall until I touch the yellow. If I touch the yellow, then this code is going to stop and it's going to go to the next step, which is to say timer, which is just telling me how fast I was able to get through the tunnel. These are some fun games that use conditionals to make the game very interactive and have different jobs. In this module, you're going to learn how to use conditionals to create some of your own fun projects.